Hello, this teacher guide is about our Mindset Learn series of lessons on networks. In this guide, we tell you what the series of lessons is about and how it links to the curriculum. We also discuss ideas for using the lessons with your learners. You may want to make notes, so have pencil and paper ready. There are 6 lessons in this series. Lesson 1, Investigating Networks. Lesson 2, Exploring Networks and Cabling. Lesson 3, Exploring Wireless Technology. Lesson 4, Networking Roles. Lesson 5, Integrity and Protection of Data. Lesson 6, Creating a Smart House. In this series, we address the assessment standards of Learning Outcome 1, hardware and system software, that relate directly to the topic of networks. The learning outcome and assessment standards for each lesson are stated at the beginning of each video lesson in the series. In addition, lesson outcomes linked to these are also given for each lesson. After watching and engaging with the lessons in this series, your learners should be able to successfully complete tasks linked to each of these assessment standards. In this series of lessons, we join Zamo and Morwa after their holidays. They want to find out how to connect the computer they built to form a network. Zamo and Morwa are joined by Murray, who helps them along the way by giving advice and explaining some of the more difficult concepts. This approach provides a context for learning outside of the classroom, which your learners should be able to identify with, and it may motivate them to engage in similar activities themselves. The success of these video lessons depends on the way you use them in your classroom. We suggest that you watch the lessons yourself as part of your planning. Decide which videos you will use and think about how to integrate them into your learning program. To get the full benefit of the lessons, your learners need to engage actively with the concepts presented. So, when you preview the videos, think about how to introduce each lesson and what follow-up activities will be useful. Also, watch out for places in the video where you could pause to have a class discussion or ask learners to complete an activity or solve a problem posed in the video. Assessment is an important part of teaching and learning, and the lessons provide opportunities for a range of different types of assessment. When you pause the video for learners to do an activity, you can assess their understanding of key ideas in the video and adjust your lesson plan if necessary. The task provided at the end of each lesson is always linked to at least one of the lesson outcomes, and thus provides you with a useful assessment opportunity. To ensure your learners have mastered the techniques shown in the video, they will need additional problems to practice solving. In Lesson 1, we meet up with Morwa and Zamo again. They want to find out how to connect the computer they built to form a network. With Murray's help, they establish the purpose for a network and then review a model that describes what a network is. Together, they examine an Ethernet network and take an in-depth look at what components are found in this network. Particular focus is given to the importance and function of a network interface card, and they discuss why each network card has a unique MAC address. In this lesson, you will see how network cards can be connected or installed in different computers, including laptop computers. In Lesson 2, we introduce the idea of network topology and explain the difference between a physical and virtual topology by using the analogy of a plan of a house. We examine an Ethernet star topology and find out what the advantages and disadvantages of this topology are. We also look at the role of hubs and switches and different types of cables used in an Ethernet network. We conclude this lesson by discussing the weakness found in communication channels, including electromagnetic interference or EMI, attenuation, crosstalk, and eavesdropping. In Lesson 3, Zamo and Morwa find out about the differences between an Ethernet network and a wireless network. They discuss the role of a router and take a look at a wireless access point, and then examine how wireless network adapters can be connected to different computers. They also identify advantages and disadvantages of having a wireless network. They then decide to connect their computer using wireless technologies and install a wireless network card into their desktop computer. We suggest that you pause the video and rewind it so that your learners will be able to describe the steps of this process accurately. In Lesson 4, we examine network roles, namely client-server network and the peer-to-peer network. We also consider the importance of protocols in networks. After considering all the related factors, Zamo and Mora choose a client-server role, but they need to upgrade the hard drive on one of their computers. You will see how Mora completes this practical task. Since many learners won't have the chance to do this practically, we suggest you take time to show them this process more than once. In this lesson, we discuss the importance of protecting data. We examine the physical threats to a computer and suggest ways on how to protect data from a physical threat. We also consider virtual threats and examine how theft of data can be prevented. In our final lesson, we show how Zamo and Mora finally get their wireless LAN set up and then explore the possibilities of using technology to create a smart house. There is a set of lesson notes for this video series on our website. These notes give a summary of the key points of each lesson, the tasks and task answers. More detailed teacher support for this series, including additional ideas for assessing your learners' progress toward the assessment standards, is also available on the website. We hope that this teacher guide has given you a helpful overview of this series and will help you to use the mindset resources when introducing your learners to networks. Goodbye.